Hello and welcome. Today, we're discussing the impact of heavy metals on reproductive health and development, focusing on how these toxic elements affect males, females, and developing fetuses. Heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury are environmental pollutants that once inside our bodies can cause serious disruptions in cellular and hormonal functions. Let's dive into how each group is affected, starting with males. First, let's look at the impact of heavy metals on male reproductive health. Heavy metals, especially lead, cadmium, and mercury, have a particular affinity for accumulating in testicular tissues. When these metals build up, they cause testicular toxicity, leading to direct cellular damage. What exactly is the mechanism of action of heavy metals? Heavy metals interfere with the function of Leydig cells in the testes. Leydig cells are crucial because they produce testosterone, the hormone essential for sperm production and male reproductive health. When these cells are damaged, testosterone levels drop, which disrupts the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal HPG axis, which is a regulatory system for male hormone production. What are the hormonal effects and major impacts? The result of this interference is a decrease in testosterone levels, which reduces sperm production and quality. This lowered testosterone, combined with oxidative stress caused by the heavy metals, leads to poor sperm motility, reduced sperm count, and even DNA damage in sperm cells. These factors contribute to lowered fertility in affected males. Why are males affected this way? The testicles are especially vulnerable to oxidative stress caused by heavy metals. The buildup of these metals leads to direct damage in the testicular tissue, disrupting both sperm production and hormone balance. Now let's talk about females. Mary, over to you.
All right, let's talk about the impact of heavy metals on the female reproductive system. Heavy metals also impact the female reproductive system, but in different ways. In females, metals like lead and cadmium tend to accumulate in ovarian tissues, leading to oxidative stress and cellular damage. What are the hormonal effects and major impacts? Altered levels of estrogen and progesterone, which lead to menstrual irregularities. Females exposed to high levels of heavy metals may experience anovulation, where no egg is released, irregular menstrual cycles, and a reduction in ovarian reserve. Together, these factors contribute to reduced fertility and complications in maintaining a healthy pregnancy. Why are females affected this way? Females are particularly sensitive to oxidative stress caused by heavy metals. The ovarian cells are especially vulnerable, and when they are damaged, hormone production and egg quality are directly impacted, making it harder for affected females to conceive and carry a pregnancy to term. Finally, let's look at how heavy metals affect the most vulnerable group of all: the developing fetus. Heavy metals like mercury and lead have the ability to cross the placental barrier. This means that if a pregnant woman is exposed to these toxins, the metals can directly reach the fetus during critical stages of development. What is the mechanism of action on the fetus? Once these metals cross the placenta, they interfere with essential developmental hormones, especially thyroid hormones and growth factors. Mercury, for example, can disrupt thyroid function, which is crucial for brain development, while lead interferes with growth factor signaling, essential for overall fetal growth. What are the hormonal effects and major impacts on the developing fetus? The impact on the fetus can be severe, leading to neurodevelopmental delays and an increased risk of birth defects. Studies have shown that exposure to heavy metals in utero is linked to cognitive deficits, lower IQ, and delays in physical and mental development. Why is the fetus so highly affected? The developing brain and organs of a fetus are extremely sensitive to toxic substances. Since these systems are still forming, exposure to heavy metals can cause irreversible damage that may lead to lifelong developmental challenges. The high vulnerability of fetal tissue to heavy metals makes it critical for pregnant individuals to avoid exposure to these harmful substances. In summary, heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury have serious consequences for reproductive health across all stages of life. In males, they reduce testosterone levels and impact sperm quality and quantity. In females, they They disrupt ovarian function, affecting hormone levels and fertility. And in fetuses, exposure can lead to neurodevelopmental issues and birth defects, with lasting effects. Understanding these impacts underscores the importance of reducing heavy metal exposure, especially for those planning a family or already pregnant. Steps like avoiding certain fish high in mercury, reducing contact with lead-based materials, and avoiding environments with industrial pollutants can make a difference. Thank you for joining me in exploring this critical topic. By understanding how heavy metals affect our bodies, we can make more informed choices to protect our health and the health of future generations.
One last thing. If you are wondering what the difference between high sensitivity versus high vulnerability is, let me explain. High sensitivity refers to a high reactivity or response to a specific xenobiotic. High vulnerability refers to a high risk of harm or susceptibility to damage from a xenobiotic, especially in crucial developmental stages. When thinking about toxins, it's important to have an awareness of sensitivity versus vulnerability.